welcome to PrayerCaveTV, the Uchao Dawn Break Show. My name is Eric Kimondo, and this morning we are blessed again with the presence of Counselor Margaret Getao, and she's here today to talk to us about coping with dementia. Counselor Margaret Getao is a counseling psychologist and a recent graduate of the Word of Faith Community College. She has a passion for geriatrics counseling, which involves dealing with older persons in our society. She has had a successful career in banking industry for 30 years, which she has retired from. She holds a BCom and MBA in strategic marketing. Currently, she is in marketing consultancy as well as a trainer and coach in business and life skills. She is married and with 2 children. Welcome back again.
Thank you so much, Eric.
How are you doing this morning?
I am blessed.
Wow.
And I'm very happy to be back.
Wow. Congratulations on your recent graduation.
Thank you so much. It was wonderful.
Umesoma sana.
Masomo haiishi. Yes.
Wow, that's amazing.
Yes.
Thank you so much for coming back again. This is an episode that was demanded from our audience that you may be able to come and tackle dementia. It is one of the most prevalent issues right now in society, and thank you so much for coming. Getting started, what is dementia and what causes it?
Okay. Dementia is an umbrella term for covering quite a number of medical conditions that cause some mental dysfunction. And the key thing is that it ends up interfering with one's normal daily life. So it is a mental condition. Under dementia, you find that there are different types of illnesses. They are the ones that we are very familiar with. Alzheimer is one of the key ones. Then we also have Parkinson disease. All those now come under the umbrella of dementia. And what mainly is affected is the memory and the cognitive, or what we call the thinking ability of somebody, and also the ability to perform the normal daily tasks that we have in life, what we call activities for daily living. So the 3 types that I have talked about, the classifications is that one is the primary, then there is secondary, then there is reversible. Now, under primary means that that disease is the key condition. That is Alzheimer's. Then the secondary means there is another underlying condition or a disease that is causing the dementia. That is now where Parkinson falls in. Then we have reversible. Reversible means that the dementia is being caused by another condition that can be reversed. Probably it's because of alcohol or use of substance like drugs. We also find that probably people who have HIV, they may also develop some form of dementia. And other things that can cause it is malnutrition. Surprisingly, if one is not taking the proper diet or nutrition that is required for the brain, dementia can also result. Yeah. There is food for the brain. Food. We normally don't remember why we eat. But we think we are eating because we are hungry. I think that is what we normally think about. Yeah. But when we eat, we are feeding our body. We are feeding our brain. We are feeding our nerves. We are feeding the organs and so forth. So remember, I've said that dementia is caused by a problem in the brain, damage to the brain. So when the brain is not fed the right food, then it can interfere with the functioning. You have asked me what is the cause. The cause is primarily damage to the brain cells, and this can be caused by several factors. Now, under the primary, what happens is that there is some abnormal protein reactions. I hope I'll not get into too much biology, but proteins, two proteins, they react to each other and they cause an abnormal reaction in the brain, and they cause certain deposits to occur in the brain. And when that happens, it causes blockages and interferes with maybe the supply of blood to the brain. It can also leave some deposits within the brain, therefore causing damage. That is the primary one. Then the secondary one, which we said, is that there is an underlying condition that is causing the dementia, that is Parkinson. What happens in this case? There is a hormone called dopamine. And when the body is not able to produce enough dopamine, then it interferes with the brain function and then results in Parkinson disease. Then with the reversible one I have talked about, it is being caused by certain maybe medication or substance abuse, or it can also be trauma, but something that can probably be reversed or can be treated. Yes. So those are the different classifications.
Wow. There's some difficult biology hapo kidogo.
Yes.
But in simplified terms, those are the three causes in
Those are
three
the
levels.
Three causes. Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
So who is at risk of dementia?
Yeah. Good question. In most cases, people associate dementia with age.
Yeah.
That is, with the older person or with the old people.
Yeah.
But research has shown that dementia can actually occur and can affect anybody and everybody at all age brackets. However, it increases with age. So you find that dementia is more present with the older persons, but in rare cases, it can be found in the younger people, because we are saying that it can be caused even by trauma to the brain. You find that like boxers, I don't know whether you remember a lady called Congestina Achieng, who was a boxer. Because of the repeated blows to the head, it causes trauma to the brain, and then it can result in dementia. You find also people who play football, people who play rugby, a very rough game. It can also cause trauma to the brain. You also find soldiers can also suffer from the trauma to the brain, and it can cause dementia. So in those cases, those are young people. They are not necessarily in the older age brackets. However, the risk of dementia increases with age. Research shows that between 65 years to 69 years, there is a 5% likelihood of developing dementia. Then when you go now to the higher age group, especially from 85 years and above, there is a 50% risk possibility of developing dementia. That is why we say that dementia is for the older persons, because it is more prevalent in that age group. The other risk factor is about lifestyle. You find that people who do not maintain a very good lifestyle, especially exercise, diets that are high in cholesterol, smoking is also a major issue, taking of alcohol. You find that those people, they are at a risk of developing certain conditions that can lead to dementia. For example, they may develop diabetes. They may develop heart diseases. They may develop hypertension and so forth, stroke and so forth. So all these contribute to the risk of getting this kind of illness. We've talked about the head trauma. That is an unfortunate incident that one cannot be planned and probably can also not be avoided. It also contributes a lot to this issue. There is also the issue of family history. Yeah. Although dementia is not inherited, there is a risk factor. If, for example, one looks at their family history and there are people who have suffered dementia, it means that there is a higher likelihood of them also getting the condition.
The condition, yes. Okay. So you're demystifying it as it is a myth to think it is only a disease that is going to affect an older person. But you've touched on some things I think young people take for granted. For example, you've said smoking, taking alcohol. These are things that can lead you to have brain damage and develop this disease later. Wow. It is a sad.
It is a very sad condition. I don't know whether you have seen some clips that are going around where you can actually see how somebody who is suffering from dementia behaves. There is one where there is a parent relating with the son, and you can basically just see this person does not remember, they don't recall this person. There's another one of a husband and a wife who are traveling together, and the husband just loses it. And you're also able to see it's a very sad kind of condition. But it is inevitable. And we have to learn how to cope with it.
How to cope with it.
If not ourselves, with the people around us, family members and so forth. Yes.
So what are the key signs and symptoms that present in dementia?
Okay. I have already said that dementia affects the brain and it affects the memory, mainly the thinking and the activities for daily living. And for most people, when they think about dementia, think about the memory, because that is the most alarming sign or symptom that is presented in this case. So you find that somebody starts forgetting. They forget things, they forget days, they forget the dates, they can't remember which year this is. They may not even know who the president is. They don't remember events, important things that have happened in their lives. And worst of all, they cannot remember people, even their significant others. Now, what I would want to make very clear here, because it should not be so alarming, it is normal to forget. It is normal to forget.
Yeah, coming to that.
I sometimes forget where I've kept my keys. Or you're looking for your phone and you're talking on the phone. Those are signs of stress and anxiety. Especially the distinguishing factor here is forgetting and not remembering. If you forget and then you remember after a few minutes, then you remember, I'm looking for my phone and I'm talking on the phone. And for ladies, when they're in the kitchen, they look for the knife and you're holding it. So you're looking for your car keys. Those are
normal cases.
Those are normal cases caused by stresses of life. Also, as you age, as one ages, because of the deterioration of the cells, then it is normal to forget. But in dementia, it is quite serious and it affects somebody's daily life. So they forget and they forget. They cannot remember. And what is happening is the brain is getting degenerated. The cells are dying away and they're not being replaced. So it's like the memory is being erased completely, like deleted. Like in the phone or in the computer, when you delete some information and it's not even in the recycle bin, that person cannot be able to recall that information. So they cannot remember who you are. You're talking with them, you're the son, you're the daughter, they don't know who you are. You ask them what is their name, they don't remember what their name is. Now that is a sign of dementia. Which is different from the normal forgetting. Yeah, so we need to be very clear on that. But the interesting thing with dementia is they lose short-term memory, but they remember things from the very past. So somebody will not be able to recall who you are. But when you start singing, they will pick up and they will sing the whole song, and they will, clearly and up to the end. Or they can start telling you about a story or an incident from their childhood, and they will remember it. But you ask them, who came to see you yesterday? They can't recall.
Okay.
Sometimes they don't remember whether they have eaten or not. And that is one of the risks and dangers of dementia, because especially when it comes to medication, they don't remember what to take, whether they have taken their medications, they mix it up. So that is one of the key sign and symptom of dementia. The next one is just thinking. You find that the person is not able to think clearly. They're not thinking clearly. They're not able to think logically. They are not able to reason. They are not able to solve their problems, issues, and so forth. That is another sign of dementia. And they are also not able to concentrate. And of course, you're comparing this person, how they were before and how they are now. So you're able to pick, hey, this person is losing it. They are losing the concentration. The other one is language. You find the person is not able to talk very clearly, or they keep repeating themselves. Naongea something, or when they are in the middle of a sentence, they stop. They lose the words. They don't know what they were saying, or they keep repeating themselves. That is another sign. The next one is about moods. You find the person is very angry, very easily irritated, very fearful. Sometimes they even have hallucinations, delusions. They are seeing things that I don't know whether things that are not there. That is the right things that are not there. Keep saying they are seeing people from somewhere else coming for them. Then on behavior, you find that the person is there are changes in sleep patterns, in their feeding patterns, in their hygiene. They are not able to take care of themselves. Remember, we also said dementia affects the way somebody is able to do their chores. So you find the person is not able to bathe themselves. They are not able to maybe even to go to the washroom. They are losing control. So all those are signs of dementia.
Wow, it's quite a very informative lesson today to learn about dementia. I think one of the things that has shocked me is that it can also occur at a young age, especially through head injuries, etc., and lack of proper nutrition. We are going to take a short break. When we come back, you take us through the treatment of dementia. Is it avoidable? What should we do? And also, you are going to be telling us your passion in geatrics. What made you choose that? We are going to be going through all that shortly after this break. See you. Welcome back to PrayerCaveTV, the Child Dawn Break Show. This morning we are talking about coping with dementia with Counselor Margaret Getao. And now we are in the most important part of the episode, and that is prevention and cure. How can we avoid dementia?
Okay. Let me first say that with dementia, we have already talked about three types.
Yeah.
The first and the second type is quite irreversible
Okay.
because it is mainly degenerative. So the cells are degenerating and not being replaced.
Okay.
But the third type is reversible.
Okay.
So it is possible in that case if it is detected early through diagnosis by the medical experts, then one can be able to be put on medication early, and then it can be reversed, or whatever is causing it can be removed. For the first and the second, primary and secondary, if it is detected early, then the doctors can put somebody on medication so that the symptoms can be reduced or suppressed. But for us who are not yet there, there is hope. And what is important is that we maintain a very healthy lifestyle, starting with the diet. We have said the brain needs to be fed the right food. So we need to eat the right food, and it is not anything different from what all the time we are being told by nutritionists to eat healthy. Eat a lot of vegetables, eat your fruits, drink a lot of water, whole grain, avoid processed foods, and reduce on red meat. Red meat seems not to be very good for our bodies. So if we are conscious and we make sure that we are feeding our bodies the right things, then the brain will be getting the right nutrition, and then it will be able to function better. The second one is the exercise. We are told to make sure that we are not living sedentary lives. And we are only required to do 30 minutes exercise, active exercise, at least 5 days in a week. If we can be able to just prioritize 30 minutes, walking, running, for those who can be able to run, for those who are able to jog, you can do the jogging. For those who are able to swim, just do something that will keep your body active. And remember, with the diet and the exercise, you're also reducing the risks of these other diseases we talked about, the diabetes, the heart diseases, the high blood pressure, which cause the dementia. One of the causes that I didn't mention about dementia is one that we call vascular. That is concerning the heart function. What happens is, in cases of when somebody has high blood pressure, there is a lot of pressure that is put on the blood vessels. And sometimes they burst, or sometimes you have clots that are forming, and those interfere with the supply of the blood to the brain. Everything is going back to the brain. So when that happens, then dementia happens, because there's not enough blood going to the brain. And remember, the blood goes to the brain to feed it. It's taking the nutrients. So when the blood and the nutrients don't get there, then the cells start degenerating. So it's very important. Then the third one, keep the brain active. The brain has to be kept active. I know couple, the husband is about 95 years. The lady is in her 92nd year. Went to visit the couple recently with our chama, going to see the parents, the parental visitation. And we were so impressed to find the father with a crossword at 96. And we were told he does that crossword every day. The Nation, the newspaper, nowadays people read newspapers on the phone. He buys his newspaper to do the crossword, and his mind is sharp. Unfortunately, his wife at 92, she has dementia. She has not been able to be able to do this brain exercise. So we are told, keep your brain active. Make sure that you're engaging your brain. You can read.
Yeah.
You can sing. You can engage people, socialize with people. Make sure you're somewhere you're talking. Yeah. There is something also, I think with the ladies, we call it holy gossip. Don't talk about other people, but just talk about what is happening around. Yeah. So it is very important to engage.
Yeah.
Otherwise, your brain is going to start degenerating. That is why people like me at this advanced, okay, it's not very advanced, but at a mature age, we are going back to school to learn. So the brain needs to be kept very active. Yeah.
Wow.
For people who are retiring, don't retire and say, okay, now I have put away my books, I've put away my work tools, I'm just relaxing. You're just sitting there, not doing much, not getting out of the house. Go out to the shamba. It's also very healthy to go to the shamba and see things growing. Grow something, plant and watch that item growing. It's also very, very healthy. Go to the shamba and see the animals, see how they are behaving, how they are doing, and taking care of them. So the brain needs to have something that it is looking forward towards doing. Avoid a sedentary life. Also avoid not interacting socially. Yeah, it's very important. There is a stage where somebody feels like they want to be alone, but that can be detrimental to the brain because the brain is not being activated, it is not being challenged. So those are some of the remedies that we are told. But these are not treatments. These are just activities to reduce the risk. Otherwise, pray. Prayer, very important because everything, our lives, our minds is in the hand of God. So we just need to trust Him and believe that He's going to help us to be able to negotiate through our life journey.
Wow.
Yes, but do our part, then trust Him.
Absolutely.
Also, and then we also said about indulging in taking alcohol, too much alcohol, substance abuse, smoking, taking drugs, living recklessly. Remember, HIV is also another cause of the dementia. So it is very important that we also live a very responsible kind of life. Yes.
Eat well, exercise the brain, pray, live responsibly. Those ones are going to keep you on the safe side. On track. To a person now that is in, you called it stage 3. Now unfortunately they are sick. What is the medication that is available for the persons that now have dementia? So what treatment is available for them?
Okay. For the ones who are already having dementia, and it is not the reversible one. That is the primary and the secondary one. Unfortunately, as I have said, it is the cells that are degenerating. So that it is very important to get medical care, to see neurologists and to see the other concerned doctors. There are also doctors called geriatrics who look after the old people. They specialize with conditions for the older people. So it is very important to make sure that one is going for their medical checkups and the medical treatment that will be given at that level. So there is also the adherence. Adherence is also very important. That means whatever instructions are given by the doctor, that is the medication and any other care that is required, it is very important to adhere to that. So because that is going to help them to be able to cope and negotiate the dementia. Then there is now the caregiving.
Okay.
Now, the importance of that caregiving, I think we have already alluded, is the key one is just to provide this person with a quality life.
Okay.
Yeah, let us not neglect them. Let us not abandon them.
Yeah.
One of the reasons why you asked me why I'm passionate about this area is because I have seen, due to lack of awareness and understanding of what is happening to the older person, they end up being neglected, abandoned, abused, because people are not understanding, why is this person behaving like a child? Yeah, why are they pretending? You're a mature person. People get impatient. People get, hasty, not taking care of them. So that is why this awareness is very important, that these people require safety. You can imagine somebody who has lost their memory, even of where they live. If you let them go, will they be able to remember their home? That is why sometimes we are seeing old people announcements on the TV that there is somebody 86 years old, he has been found in Kisumu, amepotea, yeah, hajui kwao na hajui jina yake. That is dementia. So we need to give them a safe environment. We also make sure, know these people they are very vulnerable. They can be abused in many ways. Then because of the forgetting, now the person has gone to the doctor, they've been given the dosage to take. Will they remember when they are supposed to take the dosage? Will they remember how much they are supposed to take? I heard of a lady who said she got so confused, akachukua zote akazimeza.
Oh my God.
So because they're getting mixed up, they are confused, they are forgetting. So it is very important that we take care of them so that they can have a quality life. Even if we are saying the condition may be permanent, we should give them a quality life. These are our loved ones. These are our parents, people who looked after us. They were in their strengths. So it is time for us also to take care of them. Yeah. So caregiving is very important. And there are 3 levels of the caregiving. Let me start with counselors, being one of them. Our role as counselors is to psychoeducate. Very much what I am doing, just to create awareness about what is this disease, what causes it, what are the symptoms, and basically how do we cope with it? Because in a case where it cannot be treated, how do you cope? And we help people to accept the reality of it. We accept people to deal with the situation. Are we guilty? Is there anything we did? Is there something we did not do that caused it? What more can we be able to do? There is loss and grief. It is very painful, Eric, to see a parent who has brought you up from when you are a child, though you are role model. And then all of a sudden, your father no longer knows you. He can no longer take care of himself. He can no longer walk. Yeah, he has just become vulnerable and like a child. So people suffer a lot of loss and grief. They grieve for their loved ones. They grieve that they are no longer able to interact. And there is nothing more painful than a parent not recognizing their child. Yeah, it's not very nice. So we come in and counselors, we help the family members to be able to process, to cope with the situation. We also help the caregivers who are taking care of the person. We also take care of the patient if they are still able to comprehend what is happening. That time, then we can help them also to process what is happening, to them to understand what are the emotions that you're feeling, how do you deal with them, and also be able to navigate. Yes. So that is the role of the counselor.
You said there are 3 levels of caregiving.
Yes.
That's counseling is number 1.
Yes.
Number 2.
Number 2 is now the family.
Okay.
The family members. It is for the families I have seen dealing with somebody with dementia. It is not easy. It is a very sad situation, very emotional. because of the way they can see also their loved one deteriorating. One day the person is like this, the second day, they are deteriorating. They are also sometimes in very low moods, very sad, very angry, not appreciating the care that is being taken care of them. So for the family needs to accept what has happened to their parent or their sibling and so forth. They need to accept. They need to take responsibility to make decisions. There are decisions that need to be made. For example, who is going to look after this person? Is it going to be so-and-so or so-and-so? And here, I just want the family to be very, intentional. Don't leave the responsibility to one person only. Just share it, because it can also be very straining, financially, emotionally, physically, looking after that person. So if it's a family of 5 people, or if you're blessed and you are 8 of you, please share the responsibility. All of you, financially, give each other emotional support, and also the physical and financial, right? Wow. So that you don't just leave one person, because they will suffer from what we call burnout. And they can very easily give up. And also, there are decisions that need to be made. Where is this person going to stay? Are they going to be taken care of in the home, which is familiar to them? And if they're going to stay at home, how do you make it a safe environment? How do you make sure that this person is safe and comfortable? If that is not possible and you have the ability, are you going to take the person to a home for the aged? Now, another decision needs to be made there. Which home are you going to take your significant other to? Because we know that there are different types of homes. There are those where they'll be taken very good care of. There are those where they may not get the quality care that you require. So all those decisions need to be made by the family.
And as a counselor, which of the two is the most favorable?
If it is possible, the home environment is better. It is possible.
If possible.
And why I'm stressing that is because it is a familiar environment
for them.
And remember, it's all about the brain. When somebody is within a familiar environment, then the healing comes better. Yeah? If they're able to see, this is my house, although they may not remember quite. Yeah? Because I remember, like, my mother-in-law. We would take her to her home and she would not remember. Nauliza hapa ni wapi? She can't remember, and it's her own home. But familiar environment is better. Secondly, if we can be able to afford a caregiver, it is better. Then family, we have said about the family will be able to support their own person themselves. However, where professionals are required, then a home can be considered, but one has to take them to a home that is
good.
That is good. Yeah, I think we talked about that last time.
Last time
we talked about that. So that is a decision that needs to be made.
Wow. What's the third level?
The third level now is the caregiver. Caregiver is the person who is actually taking care of this patient on a daily basis. And that is quite a demanding responsibility. And it is almost a calling, because it's a trying time. One has to have the patience for it. One has to be very intentional about it. One has to have the qualification, because it is almost like it will take away your own personal life, away from, your own many things that you need to do. And that's why I'm talking about the family really supporting the caregiver. And in counseling, we talk about the caregiver needs self-care. If they don't get self-care, then they will not be able to take care of this person. So what is the caregiver's responsibility? Is to just take care of this person, their medication, their feeding, bathing, changing them, making sure that they are, because remember we said they are not able to do their daily activities. So you're taking care of their daily activities. Then another interesting job for them. Remember we said these people, they remember the old things.
Yeah.
So you need to keep them quite entertained and happy. Yeah, most of the time if they are left on their own, they will suffer loneliness. They'll be very sad. They'll be very irritated. They'll be angry. But as much as possible, interact with them. Interact with them. Just make them feel loved and cared for. If they can still remember those songs, you sing the songs with them. You tell them stories, and listen to them.
Wow.
Listen to them. They really want to be listened to, regardless of what they are talking about. Listen to them. Last time we talked about forcing them to take medication. We should not force them. We should not force them to take medication.
Yeah.
We should not force them to eat. Now, there are some danger signs. If you see your person is not able to swallow, it is a danger sign, because it can also come now with dementia. Because as the brain is deteriorating, it may cause them to forget those, or to lose those bodily instincts, and they are unable to swallow. Don't force it. You need to talk to the doctors. You need to refer and find out what needs to be done at that moment. Because if they are not able to swallow, they will not swallow food. We have said food is, we are what we eat.
Yeah.
If they're not able to swallow, they will not be able to take their medication. So that needs to really be taken care of. That is the third level.
Wow.
Yes.
Wow. You said that caregiving is a calling. Are you seeing an importance of training to caregivers? Some of the caregivers that are in homes, it's just a responsibility they assumed because maybe there was nobody else, and it's taking a toll on them because they don't have the right skills. They don't understand some of the things that you're talking about, listening, active listening, not forcing them to take medicines and such kind of things. Do you think there is a need for a caregiver to be well trained?
Certainly there is a need, and it has been identified, and there are very many trainings and courses that are going on to upskill these caregivers, especially on those areas that you have talked about. That is not just a duty to feed this person and wash them and turn them. And sometimes we hear people saying they are being taken outside to be dried, to dry out. Then they are taken back in the house in the evening. That is not the job. This is a very divine kind of responsibility to take care of our older persons, needy persons who require us. They've become like babies. In fact, that's what we normally say, is that they have become almost like babies. The way babies are taken care of, they prefer to be taken care of. So there are many now institutions who are offering the training so that they can give them the skills that are required and the understanding of exactly what is happening. Yeah. If one has the information, knowledge is power. Like what I'm sharing, I hope it is helping somebody out there to understand what is happening to their patient who is suffering from dementia. Then from there, know what needs to be done. The right nutrition, the right care, the right attitudes will help. In counseling, we talk about knowledge, skills, and attitudes. One needs to have the three so that they can be able to carry out their job well. And there's blessing in it, I can tell you. Yeah, these are the kind of responsibilities where you're told, you take care of your parent. When it is your turn, you will not miss somebody to take care of.
You won't.
Yes,
And that is where the counselors come in.
Yes.
Can you help somebody who is listening to you, maybe into getting more information about an institution that they can receive the caregiving training? And also you give counseling to the elderly. If there's somebody who don't want to speak to their parent, the person they are taking care of, if you be also okay to share your phone number with them.
Okay. I would once again want to encourage people who are taking care of the geriatric, that is the older person. Do not despair, do not give up. It is a calling. It is a responsibility that we are given by God. And this is not the time to throw these people away.
Yeah.
And that is where my passion is, that although they are approaching the end, it is an important time when we need to give them dignity and honor. And when it comes to our time, we shall also be able to reap. And the Bible tells us that even though these people may not seem to be aware of what is happening around them, their spirit is still communing with God, still very much in touch. The Bible tells us that we are created in the image of God. So the dementia patient is no less human or no less the likeness of God as the person who is whole.
Yeah.
According to Romans
8:38.
Yeah, would you read for us?
Yes, the Bible says, "For I am persuaded that neither death, nor life, nor angels, nor principalities, nor powers, nor things present, nor things that come, nor height, nor depth, nor any other creature shall be able to separate us from the love of God, which is in Christ Jesus our Lord."
Amen.
Amen.
So what the scripture is telling us, that nothing, not even dementia, can separate us from the love of God. So even this patient who is suffering from dementia, they are still communing with God. And as much as we are taking care of them, when we are taking care of them, let us read the scriptures for them. Let us play for them hymns and other encouraging music for them, so that the spirit can be nourished. And we can be able to remind them that they are loved. Nothing separates them from the love of God.
Wow.
And when it comes to caregiving, let us also keep them very safe. Make sure they do not fall. We see that at this age, people fall down a lot, and then they suffer from fractures, which now become something secondary. Also, we should make sure they are not getting bed sores. Bed sores are pressure sores because of lying down on one side for too much.
Okay.
If we do not know what to do, we need to refer. That is where the skills come in. Yeah, that is where the skills come in. We need to refer. We also need to make sure that we are keeping them warm to avoid pneumonia. Pneumonia is another dangerous thing for these people. And I've already talked about swallowing. And the last one is hydration. Keep them hydrated. Make sure that they are taking enough liquids. Because according to research, these are the issues that cause a lot of risk to this particular age group. Then, you asked me about the institutions. There are very many, especially around Nairobi. I think they are available. If somebody can just go to the internet and Google home care kind of training, you'll be able to find them. And for me, my number is 0722 720 393.
Again?
0722 720 393. Eric, allow me to say hi to the viewers.
Absolutely.
My fellow counselors who have really, really encouraged me on this journey. My family, really appreciate them and love them all. And my friends for remaining with me along this journey. Thank you so much, Eric.
Sisi tumeshukuru zaidi. Thank you for that information. I know it has helped somebody that is going through this. It cuts across from the young people. There are things, as the counselor has told us, if you are reckless about them now, they are going to come to bite you later. Start exercising early, living rightly before the eyes of God, so that Our God is faithful. He honors those that honor Him. And if you are in that situation currently, you are taking care of a patient, there has been sufficient information for you in caregiving and also how to get further information. So tunashukuru sana. Thank you for that episode. Asante, asante. We give God all the glory. Tunashukuru na tunasema ni asante that we have read. Thank you so much for that verse, that there is nothing that can separate us from the love of Christ. Nothing. And not even dementia. We thank God. We thank God. A special appreciation also goes to Bishop Dr. Thomas Mothe and Reverend Phyllis Mothe. Thank you for your love. Thank you for your support. Thank you for your prayers. Tunashukuru sana, sana, sana. I want to thank the people also producing the Child on Break show. We have Peter Maora, Sheila Huro, and Doreen Mwende. Together with the entire PrayerCaveTV staff, your labors in the Lord are not in vain. God richly bless you. Now, to you, our viewer, we love you, we appreciate you, and we pray for you every day. See you tomorrow for another blessed episode of the Child on Break show. I'll miss you. See you tomorrow.